Hello, and welcome to the March edition of the Corporate ESG 5 and 5 podcast, the podcast in which we spend 5 minutes exploring a key ESG trend set to shape the market this month. I'm Nick Bulloch from the NowWest ESG advisory team, and I'll be taking you through this month's developments on nature and biodiversity. The EU Parliament has adopted the EU Nature Restoration Law, which will support the restoration of degraded ecosystems in all member states, helping to achieve the EU's climate and biodiversity objectives while enhancing food security. The law sets a target to restore at least 20% of the EU's land and sea areas by 2030, and all ecosystems in need of restoration by 2050. For context, currently 80% of the EU's land is in poor state. This law goes above and beyond the UK's Environmental Act that requires major and small site developments to have 10% biodiversity net gain, with all habitats maintained for a minimum of 30 years. For example, to improve biodiversity in agricultural ecosystems, EU countries will have to make progress in at least two of the following three indicators: the Grassland Butterfly Index, the share of agricultural land with high diversity landscape features, and the stock of organic carbon in cropland mineral soil. The law also demands a positive trend in several indicators in forest ecosystems: an additional 3 billion trees to be planted, the restoration of at least 25,000 kilometers of rivers, increase in the Common Farmland Bird Index, and no net loss in the total national area of urban green space and tree canopy cover. The importance of nature is further reflected in CDP's 2023 scores, which were published this month. CDP is a sustainability disclosure organization which places an emphasis on nature within its assessment. Their nature analysis is primarily weighted towards water and forest questionnaires, incorporating data on climate change reduction, reducing fresh water impact, and eradicating deforestation from supply chains. This was also the first year in which plastic-related impacts were reported and incorporated in scores, with plastic being a key impact to biodiversity. As we look into next year's assessment round, CDP announced in September last year they would align with the Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosures to facilitate standardized and comparable data. In the announcement, CDP highlights the importance of TNFD's LEAP framework, a guide to illustrate the steps a company should follow to understand all of its environmental relationships and how to respond to them. The guidance helps companies to locate their interface with nature, evaluate their dependencies and impacts on nature, assess their nature-related risks and opportunities, and prepare to respond to nature-related risks and opportunities and report on their material nature-related issues. For corporate treasurers, these developments build a crucial case for investment into the preservation and restoration of nature. As noted in the UN's Global Resources Outlook 2024 report, biodiversity needs to be a key focus of any transition strategy. For example, resource extraction, including those for green initiatives such as lithium, is highlighted as a major factor of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. Consideration should therefore be given on how nature and biodiversity are interconnected with broader ESG topics, such as microplastics, forever chemicals, a just transition, and climate mitigation. Thanks for listening to this month's Corporate ESG 5 and 5. I hope you found it useful. As always, please be sure to check our monthly newsletter linked in the description for more on the key ESG trends shaping the market this month. And if you like this episode, please follow the channel and click the notification bell so you can get further episodes as soon as they are released. Thanks again, and see you next time.